thank y'all for showing up to watch us here on Tailgate Update. It is episode number 70.
While you are here, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe before we even start. That way you're ahead of the game. You don't even have to worry about it.
Oh, that was good, Julie. I like that.
Yeah.
It was very nice.
Yeah.
Oh, and turn on those notifications. Ding!
That makes sense. This is episode number 70, which means that if you have a week where every day is a perfect 10, here we are. Oh, we got just a little bit on the NBA.
Yeah. So in the NBA, Carmelo Anthony has been elected to the Hall of Fame. Melo was drafted third overall in 2003 to Denver out of Syracuse. He played 19 years with Denver, the Knicks, Portland, OKC, Lakers, and Houston. Kind of bounced around a lot at the end there. Oh, God. 10-time All-Star, one-time scoring champ, 6-time All-NBA, All-Rookie team, and he was elected to the NBA's 75th anniversary team. He averaged 22.5 points per game, 2.7 assists per game, and 6.2 rebounds per game, 28,289 career points, and 1,260 total games, and he's 12th all-time in points. Never got his ring.
This is just a reminder that some players actually do retire when they get older, and that can be a graceful thing to do. I know we forget since it feels like they're all still out there from the 90s, but some people do, and we appreciate them.
I always liked that Melo, the last year of his career, he was still one of the top 5 bucket getters in the NBA. He was still at the very top of his game. Nobody could stop him. He just got a little slower on defense. But the other thing, the NBA, it's like the Basketball Hall of Fame. He had all the creds from being like an NCAA champion at Syracuse, and then moving on and winning all the different Olympic medals, which I think he had the most. I believe he had 4.
Did he?
Yeah, I believe it was 4.
No kidding.
And then, of course, all the NBA things that he did, which he drug a team that didn't deserve to be in the finals to the finals, back early in his career. So, and a lot of great scoring teams.
Getting to the conference finals, that Denver team really didn't belong there.
No, not at all. He just drugged them there. Yes.
Yeah. He ran into the Kobe-led Lakers, and Kobe was like, "Nah."
Yeah.
No, sir. No, sir.
That's it.
You ain't no Mambo. Get out of here.
Yeah. So anyway, I think that's about all for the NBA this week. There's not a whole lot going on, kind of getting towards the playoffs. Next week, there'll be, I think, a lot of thoughts about it because we'll have the matchups set.
Oh, for the playoffs.
Yeah, for the playoffs.
Yeah.
And that'll be really good. I can't make any comment right now because from number position 3 to 8 in the NBA West is a game and a half separating.
Yeah, it's all up for grabs right now.
Yeah, which is totally insane. 4 teams with 32 losses. So
and like I told you, the top 2 teams are going to be locked up. I think I said it like 2 weeks ago. They already have they're locked up.
Yeah.
I believe there's 4 games left, at least on the Lakers schedule. There's 4 games left.
4 or 5 for most teams.
Yeah.
Yes. So
it's completely up for grabs.
Yeah. We'll know something next week, and some poor slobs to be in the 9 and 10 game.
The East has everybody locked.
Wow.
Every playoff position is locked.
That's pretty wild.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So
I think you have an anecdote from your personal life when it comes to March Madness, right, Jay?
Yeah, I was watching.
Well, we're gonna segue into March Madness a little bit.
Okay. Well, it was interesting in this part of the country. I mean, first of all, condolences to all the families that were hurt during the storms here around Memphis. But Memphis covers a viewing area of about 275 miles, about 175 miles or so either way from the tower. And so during March Madness, there was a severe flood watch going on, and basically they spent 4 to 6 hours telling everyone to get inside and not to go out into the flooded streets because they were flooded. It was an incredible rain, but they stayed on the air for about 6 straight hours with no tornadic activity, no real severe thunderstorm watch. And people had been waiting for the Final Four for like their entire year, and they put the Final Four in a little box and had the announcers uh, muted out, and we had the weather people for about 2 or 3 hours, and so people
And you said they
were
went
not
for like
having that.
11 hours period, right?
Yeah, they did the night before, 2 nights before they worked from 4 until 3. This afternoon they had worked. That afternoon they worked from about 4 in the afternoon until about 8, about 4 straight hours on the air, talking about the flash flood watches, and anyone that would be watching it could have been served about as well with the little flashing warning at the bottom of the screen
Yeah.
while the game was going on. They could have seen the
During the breaks, be like, hey guys,
right.
it's still raining.
Right. And also, they also happen to have 5 other local stations they could have turned to for the weather, as well as the Weather Channel, Fox Weather. If
Yeah.
they wanted weather, they could have found it out. If they wanted to watch they wanted to watch the Final Four, they really had no other place to go.
Oh, I'm
And
calling it Heidi round two, is what I'm
yeah,
calling
and
Oh
it.
God.
so somebody actually had Paramount Plus, and they went to that and would think, I'm paying, $15 a month for Paramount Plus. You go to there, and it's the local feed of the Memphis station.
Oh no.
So you couldn't even do that. Now me,
Oh.
I was lucky. I was watching the showboats, so I go to Peacock, and instead of watching the Weatherman, I watched it on Peacock, the NBC feed was just a straight NBC feed. So I was able
Oh,
to see
okay.
my ball game. And besides, I had my phone. The weather warnings go off if something bad is happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't
There's a
need.
lot of different technological ways you can find it out besides flipping on your TV.
Yeah, basically every single way.
Every
Um,
single way, computer, internet, you know,
Yeah,
do
but
two
yeah.
screens.
how would Granny J ever know about the tornado?
Well, if it's flooding, Grandma Jay should probably just be in the house and wait till things get the birds start singing again, okay? Like,
Good
Yeah,
grief.
yeah. They had some really hilarious memes about people had their kayaks out and all this kind of
yes.
stuff out,
I
but it
remember when
wasn't.
it flooded in New Orleans, they always had the kayaks. I actually saw them, like people going down my street with those. And then also, you always got the picture of like the mom with the baby, like with her car trapped in some huge, like where it's so high, and they had to like get somebody out on the rescue people to get a boat to like,
Yeah,
get
Mm-hmm.
her out. And it's every time. It's like,
yeah,
see, so it's pointless to even have it on the TV because nobody listened anyway.
yeah.
Right?
But there were actually hundreds of comments on Twitter
Oh
taking
my
this
God.
argument both ways, including two of the leading commentators on sports. They were like, well, "Don't be sending hate emails to the weathercasters."
I think that's funny.
It was very heated.
I bet I would be so mad, like a little tiny thing in the corner. Oh,
Yeah,
Mm.
you had about a third of the screen, and you could see Cooper Flag. He looked about 5'3" on that screen.
yeah, the little ants and then him.
Little
Yeah.
ants. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
well, that missed
So
shot looks about the same no matter what size the screen is. So,
that's true. So we had some Major League Baseball stuff going on, right?
oh yeah, some of the teams that started off hot have really fizzled out, mainly my Cardinals. So earlier this week, I think, or just over the weekend, Otani walked off to keep Atlanta winless, but things changed over the last week.
Okay.
The Dodgers started 8-0. They're 1-2 since. They lost 2 or 3 to Philly. But the 8-0 start was the longest win streak to start a season by a defending champ since the 1933 Yankees.
Wow.
It's like Gehrig, Ruth, you know.
Yeah.
And Atlanta's 0-7 start. No team has ever made the playoffs after starting 0-7.
Wow.
So, real steep hill to climb. They have won
Yeah.
a game since then, so
Okay.
at least there's no winless teams, and there's actually no undefeated teams anymore. So,
Okay.
It always happens every time in the beginning of the NFL season too, where it's like,
yeah.
oh, They won 3 games. Remember, the Saints were supposed to blow them out of the water because they won the first couple games. It's like, let's wait just a smidge longer
Oh, you're
before
talking
we
about that
sentence
that
people.
2-0 start that they had
I thought it
when,
was 3, but yeah.
when they were like putting up 50 points a game.
Right, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, they're gonna be amazing this year," and then like
Yeah.
total trash for the rest of the season. Yeah, that's what. So I try to wait a couple weeks further in before I get too excited.
Oh, let's see here. So St. Pete is going to spend $22 million to fix Tropicana Field. St. Pete,
Yes, Tropicana Field.
the field that was destroyed in the
I
hurricane.
know we've talked a lot about this field, like a lot.
St. Petersburg City Council voted 7-1 to approve $22.5 million. The Tampa Bay Rays pulled out of the $1.3 billion new stadium deal. The city is still contractually obligated to fix the Trop. So that's why they're still doing it.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So right now the Rays are playing at the Yankees spring training field in Florida, which is just across the bay from where they actually play at Tropicana Field.
Why are the Yankees in Florida?
Spring training.
Spring training. Some teams go to Arizona, some teams go to Florida.
Those are your two options?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
Pretty
you had to
much,
go to
yeah.
like a specific location to train.
Things like, I think they just split it, and then 15 and 15 go whatever.
Weird.
Yeah.
What if you want to go to Missouri one year? No.
Why?
Okay. Well, why?
It's too cold.
It's too cold. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
What if you want to go to Hawaii?
I don't know. Go to Hawaii then. I have
I just
no
don't
idea.
understand why you get the
Approve
option
it.
of 2 states. Why?
I don't know. That's just what they do.
I guess I'll have to look into that. There's probably some historical reason for that.
Oh, this you're really gonna shit about this one. It's
It's
called
not like it's the only states.
the Cactus League and the Grapefruit League.
That's it.
Spring
Yeah.
training leagues.
Cactus League and Grapefruit League. Yeah.
Bet you can't guess which one the Cactus League takes place in.
I think I have a fighting guess.
Speaking of Arizona, the Diamondbacks are signing Ketel Marte to a 6-year, $116.5 million extension. The deal is going to run through 2030 with a player option for 2031. It's going to replace his 5-year, $76 million deal he signed in 2022. Entire package of the deal equals up to $149.5 million. A day after he signed the deal, he hurts his hamstring. He's on the 10-day. He's on the 10-day IL, which really kills my fantasy team. Thank you very much, Ketel.
Yeah. So has anyone made the joke that he must have like leapt for joy at the big contract? What a hammy! It's a celebration.
That's not the only contract that's pretty big. So,
yeah.
San Diego's extending Jackson Merrill to a 9-year, $135 million contract through 2034, which includes a $30 million club option for the 10th year, maximum value of $204 million. Good for Jackson. And the big one that we were talking about earlier this in the offseason, Vlad Jr. Remember, he said he wasn't going to talk about contract negotiations during the season. Well, he lied. They continued to talk. And he just signed as of 12:38 a.m. this morning. Vlad signed
That's my kind of timeline. I like that.
14-year extension to stay in Toronto, $500 million, no deferred money.
Oh.
He's in Toronto the rest of his career. He's hitting 256 with a 333 on base, 333 slug, and a 667 OPS with 4 RBIs and no home runs in 10 games played this year.
Wow, 12:38 a.m. They say nothing bad happens. Good happens after midnight.
I will say that's not true because that's when I publish most of my articles. So,
well, you're a night owl, so yeah.
Yeah, so all good things happen in this house after midnight. Okay.
So Toronto's currently sitting at 5-5 through 10 games. So it was a rough start for them when they played Baltimore to start the year. They got smoked on opening day, and I think they lost 2 or 3 in that series, and they just looked awful. but they started turning around a bit. So good for them. That's everything I got on baseball. Vlad Jr. staying in Toronto. Good for him. Nobody's gonna want to trade for that contract.
No, that's a very
He is
long time.
stuck. He is stuck in Toronto.
He must really like it there.
Yeah, his contract's actually second, only to Juan Soto.
Nice. Okay, well.
Yeah, who also had no deferred money over his 15 years. And I think what was it, $700 million contract?
God, they've made contracts like they're in the NBA and they're gonna play until they die.
They're becoming more mainstream to have like a huge number next to that years.
Yeah, which is really interesting because most of them get injured like at the drop of a hat. It feels like.
Yeah, I mean, Giancarlo Stanton, when he was in Miami, signed a 13-year deal. And like I was in high school at the time and I was like, holy shit, 13 years? Like, damn. Let's see. Albert Pujols signed a 10-year deal in LA when he went to the Angels. He didn't even finish that contract. They told him you're done after 9.
Right. It would be hard to finish one like that.
Yeah, and he was 31 at the time. So like, what are you expecting? You know? So yeah, these long-term contracts. I think Trout just signed a 10-year, $400 million extension like 4 years ago. It's crazy to even like fathom 5 years of a player being top notch. Especially when
it's a weird direction. Unless that's what they normally do.
I think Bryce Harper.
And
oh my God, going to Florida. Oh my God. I think Harper signed a 13-year deal to go to Philly. I don't like it.
No, it feels
too long of an investment.
Yeah.
So
what about when they like race hell in that city and they're like, you gotta go somewhere else because you're a public nuisance?
He has a no trade clause too, so Harper does. So
when I was in high school, there was a guy who got kicked out of Canada because he went streaking through an area that the Queen apparently could theoretically go through. Yeah, I don't even think she was there, but if you streak in an area that's designated for her, you get kicked out of he got kicked out of the country. I remember that. They went for a school trip up in Canada. So God can only pray that this baseball player does not go streaking through that area because they'll have to trade him before his years are up. Look,
I think you know the customs of Canada. His dad played there too, so he was.
I'm just saying,
you kind of grew up there for a little bit.
Out, okay.
Yes, I understand.
I didn't even know that was possible until
I didn't have on my bingo cards we'd be talking about like 14th century Queen rules.
No, it happened. It happened like when I was in high school, and I remember this guy telling me this, and I'm like, "Was she there?" And he's like, "No," and I was like, "Was she going to be there?" No. I'm like,
you know, it could have happened.
Okay,
it could happen.
England or whatever. I was like, bro. But the rules do not play. I'm like, I did not know you could get removed from a country, but it happened.
Man.
Anyway.
Okay. It's nice to talk baseball.
Oh, thank goodness.
It's nice. Yeah. A lot happened in the last week, man. That's crazy.
Yeah. You want to do live sports now, or you want to talk about the NHL?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, let's
Julie,
do it because
I am
wearing a Mets jersey, and it's number 5, and it says Wright, and I don't know who
David
that is.
Wright jersey.
Do you know who that is?
He's only the greatest Mets third baseman ever. So
okay. Oh, good. So we got a good one.
Yeah. Injuries cut his career short. So.
Okay, this is my significant other picked very well, despite not knowing. I appreciate that. He got me the jersey because he went last weekend. I'm trying to think. Saturday, I think 7:10 against whoever Ontario is.
Toronto?
Is it Toronto?
Toronto. Blue Jays?
Yes. See, I've been going through my ancestry.com lately, and so I've been learning a lot of things.
That made you think of Orlando?
Ontario. Look, I told you why Florida's on my mind. Anyway,
I got you.
he desperately wants to be a baseball fan, but it's not working out. And he was bored stiff most of the game, so I think that
Oh,
explains most of the beer that that happened. And he got a little bit interested at the very end. He said things actually happened.
yeah.
Yeah. So that was his summary for me.
Yeah. I mean, I've been to lots of baseball games. It was like, hour and a half of nothing happening, then 30 minutes
Yeah.
made the whole trip worthwhile. Just like
But
bang,
then it
bang,
was
bang.
raining too, so I think it was kind of
Mm.
a lot. Like it was kind of a lot
Yeah.
to wait for very little action. But I remember I think I got forced into a few Mariners games when I was real young, like going in person.
Oh,
Yeah, it was pretty awful. I actually
they're
have really negative memories of that.
they were
And
bad for a long time.
yeah, and it was always raining and it was cold and nothing ever happened. So I could really resonate with that experience.
So
I
was that post Griffey Jr. or was that
I
like
don't
little tight times for you?
I remember his name. So
Okay.
I remember seeing him on the TV, but I don't know when he left. So
He left around 2000, so
yeah, he would have been there for some of them, yeah.
okay.
Well, that's pretty cool,
That's
though.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember his name and like Ichiro, I think.
Oh yeah.
Remember watching Ichiro too. But even then they were so bad that like it compromised any talent that existed. But I do remember them as being cool.
They
But
had
again,
one great year with Ichiro there, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, and
His
everybody
rookie
loved
year, yeah.
him. But you know what I have him in my memory bank with? I have him with Michelle Kwan. Because
Why?
she was in the Olympics around that time, I feel like.
Oh my god.
Like, because my grandma loved figure skating, and so we always
Oh
had
my
to watch
god.
all these people. And I
Mhm.
associate Michelle Kwan with the Mariners because it was around the same time, I think. And
Okay.
Oksana Bayou or whatever. Yeah. Anyway.
Russian skater.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I like how Jay knows.
What?
Hey, I'm
Ber-
married. I'm married. I've seen every figure skating,
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
and pairs dancing for the last 20 years. Every time it's on, I get 4 hours of, them explaining the rules to me again.
Well, that was more than 20 years ago, but yeah.
Did
Okay.
Did I
good
The
on
get
you.
the
pro
name? Did I get the name right though? Bayou?
Yeah, you did Oksana Bayul. Yeah, and everything. I mean, it was the prime time of Dick Buttons. Dick Buttons was a great skater, and he also was um in the Bishop movie, the Bishop's Wife. He was the stunt double for Cary Grant
Ah.
during the skating scenes.
And I think I vaguely remember my knee too.
Huh?
Why?
Oh my god.
I think I vaguely remember that.
Oh, the Bishop's Wife,
No,
No,
I'm.
she's talking about Harding.
Uh-huh.
Harding. Oh yeah, yeah, I remember that. Nancy
Why?
Kerrigan, the
Yeah.
Yeah.
why,
Yeah, that was fucking haunting. Yeah.
which is actually a good question when you're sitting there just minding your own business in a skating, rink. I mean, that's the when you would least expect it.
Yeah, and you had to see
That's why they got her.
look.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I vaguely remember that kind of blended in there somewhere, but those are the two names that are coming to me for figure skating. If anybody else remembers those, along with Kenny Griffin Jr. and Ichiro, which are basically the same people, sound off below.
What?
And Gretzky, they were all in there.
They're not the same people.
Look, it's like I'm calling it the 1990s, like little hope chest, okay?
Oh my god. I can't. Okay.
Yeah,
Um.
I can't follow that, but I do want Ryan. Can you tell me about your live sports experience?
Whew. I'm gonna try.
Okay.
It's hard to
So
follow that up.
yeah, it's hard to follow it up.
It's
Colin,
like following Robin Williams, but go ahead and try.
it is. Yeah. So on Saturday we went up to Ottawa to watch the Florida Panthers play against the Senators. It was a nice family day, aside from all the rain and the wind and such. Walking to the
Mhm.
freaking arena, freezing my ass off on the way up. But
Do you have one of those fancy licenses? What do they call that?
enhanced, yes, I do have an
Yes.
enhanced license. Thank you
Well,
for
they only
asking.
offer those in like 2 states, so
Really?
don't. Yeah, I think so. Maybe Michigan too. But then, yeah, it's
Wow.
very rare. I think there's only. Yeah. So is that what you were rocking and rolling with up there?
Is that what I was? What?
Is that where you were using to go up there? Because a lot of people don't even know, like, because you just went from New York to Canada.
Yeah,
It's a big deal.
I'm like a.
Yeah, it's only 5 states: Michigan, Minnesota, New York, Vermont, and Washington.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we all got enhanced licenses so we can go up there. My sister bought the tickets. We got there like 2 hours before the game started.
Sure, sure. Get the
Yeah,
experience in.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there wasn't much of an experience, but watching people fix the ice, and then the Zamboni kind of screwed up, and then the other Zamboni screwed up. So they spent a lot of time fixing the Zambonis because
Jesus.
they were trying to do the ice, and they were just scraping the ice. And
Maybe
ice, I
you
was
should
like
have
this.
checked out the city instead of go in there 2 hours early.
We were good. We were great. Well, I was watching the jumbotron, and they were
Mm.
like showing like stats and everything, and then they were showing a commercial for figure skating.
Ah,
Figure skating was coming in May, so
look at that.
yeah, I forget what it was called. Like I think it was like skating rodeo or some shit like that. I don't know.
Sounds appropriate.
Let's see, human bowling.
So
I'll
human bowling.
remember.
Oh,
I'll plug my Zamboni article here because the Zamboni family actually reached out to the website.
cool,
Yeah.
cool.
Oh my gosh. Usually when the people reach out to me for an article, it's something to do with the restraining order. So
Oh my
good for
God.
you, Julie. It's good.
It
So
wasn't-
maybe the Zamboni family can reach out to Ottawa and help them work their Zambonis.
Right, like I think we have a machine for you.
Yeah, so like one was just scraping it, and like all you saw was this pile of ice behind them, and then they'd lift it up, and then look around behind them and go, and you could see him like talking to someone like, "What the hell is going on?" And then the other next one was trying to do the same thing, and it was just doing the same thing, and I'm just like,
You would
Oh my
think that what do you call that? A professional level team would have Zambonis at work.
two of them. They had two of them.
I could get it if it's like the high school, high school hockey, but dang.
So yeah, it was
They
pretty
need to
funny.
up their income, man.
They finally got it fixed, and they got the ice all done up real nice. And, so it was a different experience from when I went down to Buffalo last year. Ottawa just had a much better presentation, maybe because it's Canada, but the game itself was much better presentation compared to Buffalo. Their pregame, I don't want to call it ceremony, but their pregame intro was freaking awesome.
Well, it is their country sport, so that does make sense that they can make it look nice, despite the Zamboni.
Yeah, despite the Zambonis, it was pretty good.
They're like, in Canada, we know how to work with any kind of Zamboni.
Yeah, so where we were sitting, where were we, like section 105?
Oh,
Yeah, we were section 105, row O. We were right, like, we were behind the Senators bench, and where I was sitting in my seat, it was almost like right over top of the tunnel where the Senators come out, so you saw like everything.
Cool.
Oh, that's nice.
So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Florida ended up losing. They put 40 shots on goal, and they couldn't get one in the net at all. Ottawa's backup just looked like a brick wall, and they ended up losing 3-0. We left with like 2 minutes left in the game because Ottawa scored an empty net. So Dad looks at me, he's like, "Let's go."
You're one of those people that leaves the game early. Ugh.
There's like 2 minutes. You should have. we weren't just the only ones. There was like everybody was leaving.
I know a lot of people do, and I don't. My butt does not get off the seat until we are done. Including that goes for every single game during this season too. I don't
Really?
know about that. Yeah, I don't like people who leave early, so that's probably why we don't.
It was a fun experience. We saw
Okay.
a couple scrums, no fights. The refs kept breaking them up like freaking pansies. But yeah, it was a pretty good experience.
They say sorry every time.
Sorry,
Sorry,
guy.
I have to break this
Sorry.
one up.
Yeah, we sat around like a shit ton of Senators fans, and they were pretty cool people. I sat next to one guy who said nothing to me the entire night, which was awesome.
Yeah.
Like he just sat down with his tall boy and just drank it, said nothing. I said, "Hey, how you?"
I like that.
I said, "Hey, how you doing?" When he came in, he goes, "Hey, good. How you doing?" I said, "Pretty good." That was the last thing we said to each other. He sat down next to me, had his tall boy in his hand. He clasped it like a coffee cup at one point, and I just kind of glanced at him, didn't say a word. His wife was pretty loud though. She kept yelling at Brad Marchand to leave her favorite player alone, which was kind of funny because
She does all the talking for him.
he would just sit there, and I heard him say, "Hey, that should be a penalty." That was it. And then I hear his wife out of nowhere go, "You leave him alone!" Yeah, I just kind of chuckled at that, but it was kind of funny. Yeah, they were good people. It was kind of annoying that they kept standing up every time the Senators come out. So they would just stand up and you saw nothing. So you had to really get a nice glimpse before they all stood up.
Are you a Senators fan?
Oh God, no.
Okay. So
I was there as a neutral person,
right.
sort of. Like I'm a Ducks fan, so I was going
How
up.
did the Floridians even get to Canada?
Plane, bus, car. I don't know.
I guess.
There's quite a few Florida fans there. My Sarah and Dad had their Florida gear on, and we were sitting amongst Senators fans. So, and they were all cool with it. I was wearing my Ducks hat. You'd think they'd hate me because Ducks stopped them from getting a cup about 20 years ago. So,
I don't think Canadians worry too much about that.
Yeah.
oh, I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
They get their maple syrup in their tall boys and call it a day.
Man.
But there was no booing during the national anthems either. So that's
like I
good.
said, because that happened when I was in New York. It's because they're the minority, not the majority, so they're not going to open their yaps when they're in another country. And Canada is too gracious to being rude because they'd have to apologize afterwards.
Okay.
boo. Sorry about that, eh? Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Didn't mean for that. I'm sorry.
Didn't want to intrude in your business there, eh?
Yeah, but I would like to see the New York fans go there and try to run their yap like they did.
So we all three at least have gone to some sporting event here in the last month, which is good since this is a sports show, you know?
Yeah. Julie went to a hockey game 3 weeks ago. I went to a hockey game over the weekend.
I went 10 days ago for the
turn,
UFL.
Jay.
Yeah, for the UFL.
It's your turn for a hockey game, Jay. Your turn for a hockey game.
Oh, yeah, I've got too long a drive for a hockey game. But I went to the UFL game, and it was great. I've got a press pass to cover for the season, riding for the forkball. Riding is its own personal sort of journey of enlightenment, I would always call it when you're riding. You know, looking at the distance between what's the brilliance in your mind and whatever you call what's left on the page after the brilliance escapes. And so I take it as a personal challenge, but I did go to the game, and I've got another one in about 5 days. And Showboat's staff and the presentation is really nice. They've got a player that played the University of Memphis. He's on the team as well. And they do as you've seen the UFL, they have the really nice auto review, you know, if a play looks out of whack, and it's literally a tenth of the time of an NFL review. It's amazing. You should watch an hour to see if I'm not kidding. I mean, it's amazing. They have one dude that does it, and he's in the booth, and he live like the gentleman on CBS who tells you, right away, oh, we think it's this or that.
Yeah.
The guy that is the official doing it, he's live streaming to you his thoughts on it, which is
Oh
just
wow.
amazing. It's like 20 or 30 seconds later, he's made a decision. Like the Showboats had a good decision from last night. It looked like the guy didn't get both feet in bounds, but he
Hmm.
actually fell with both feet in bounds. His toe touched just before
Nice.
his hip landed out of bounds. So it was a bang bang, but you could clearly see from the angle that the toe touched down after the first foot was clearly in. They had a nice setup. It's a brand new press box at uh, Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium, and I was about the 30-yard line. Another 10 or 12 people in there with me. I think for the night games there'll be more people, but for 11 a.m.
Hmm.
start on Saturday morning, uh, during the Sweet 16, I thought this is a pretty good crowd, here in the
Hmm.
in the press box, and the other team just dominated. I mean, the Michigan Panthers, they were good, and as we talked about on last week's show, the coach took a leave of absence, and then he came back in 6 days, but it wasn't enough to retrieve last week's game, which ended up pretty close. Uh, the the Panthers intercepted a ball at the 20-yard line. Last 2 minutes,
Hmm.
Showboats drove it all the way down to the 20-yard line, threw a pass, intercepted at the 20, and ran back for 80 yards. So it just looked like frankly, a butt kicking. Okay. Looked
Mhm.
like
Hmm.
22-6, but actually it was just all they would need was a touchdown and then 2-point conversion, and they would have had it tied up for the Showboats. So
You'll
it
have to
was,
compare notes from week 3 to and compare it to week 1.
yeah, that's what I'm going to do. There was couple of little logistical things that were weird, and a grand total of only about 4,000 people in the stand. But the other thing too that you don't really take into account with spring football is the SEC had about I think 5 teams in the Sweet 16. So a lot
Hmm.
of the people are football and basketball fans. So you have a huge amount of Alabama and Auburn, and even Ole Miss was in the Sweet 16, and we're like
Hmm.
75 minutes from Oxford. So I think we lost a lot of people that way, but
Yeah.
the ratings have been improving. Last night's game was good. The Showboats lost, but it was back and forth all the way. And
Good.
there's an article in the Forkball that should be coming out sometime tonight, and I'll share that with y'all on Twitter once it's posted. It's a work in progress. I think it's through the chrysalis stage and very close to being at the butterfly stage right now. So
Hmm.
when it's released, the editor will release it, and then it will grace the world with its beauty.
And
So,
do not miss my UFL article from last week because I described the Tommy Cutlets of the UFL. It existed.
oh wow.
Yeah, that's literally in there. I break down my mom's homemade chicken and how I think that negatively impacted the gameplay. So I
Hmm.
was uncomfortably snarky when I hear that it was quite well done. So make sure to check out who the Tommy Cutlets of the UFL is.
Okay, that
Yep.
sounds interesting. Why don't we go ahead and open it up to football and talking about all manner of football.
Let's start with Chicago. The Bears are expanding options for their stadium site. They're going to
Mm.
start including Arlington Heights. They currently own a 326. Sorry, they currently own 326 acres in Arlington Heights. Their goal is to build a stadium south of the current stadium, which is on the lakefront. They're sick of that apparently. They purchased the land in Arlington Heights for $197 million in September 2021. They're going to be building a dome, so no more cold games in Chicago at some
Well,
point here soon.
can't
So
get
it'll
mad at
just be
that.
Lambeau without a dome.
In the north, yeah,
Yeah,
Lambeau without a dome. And if Lambeau builds a dome, oh my goodness,
no, it
that's
can't happen.
blasphemy. That's
Yeah,
blasphemy. That's like ruining a historical monument, you know.
Hmm.
yeah.
Um. So yeah,
So Arlington Heights is pretty far out there, huh? So I always have questions when a team picks the suburbs. I mean, I
Mhm.
know for New York the cost of living is so high that I guess it and the price of land. So I
Mhm.
guess I kind of understand the New Jersey thing and I benefit from it, so whatever. But there's decent public transportation out here, but not every city's set up that way and so I just don't quite get the like let's go to the nosebleeds.
I I don't know. I was kind of hoping Caleb would be, around the
Yeah.
next couple of weeks because he's from Illinois. So I was hoping he'd give us a little bit of down low on it. But
Like the Seattle stadium is like 10-minute walk from the ferry. Like it is very central to the city, so it makes it really accessible. And I think that's going to be far more marketable than, hey, do you want to go out to Arlington Heights? No. No, I
yeah,
don't.
it's I don't know when teams start building their stadiums like odd places like Arlington Heights and Englewood and Santa
Yeah.
Clara. It's like okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
bougie.
I know some fans will do that, but like I think you would get more if you were in a more
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Maybe they don't care.
I don't know. Chicago seems to be on the path of turning it around, maybe. And this dome idea, I guess, is I don't know. Maybe this is their way of helping Caleb Williams.
Mm.
I
They
don't
could
know.
probably just help him with a new coaching staff, but
Didn't they just do that?
I'm just saying I don't know if they need the dome too, but maybe they need both.
Maybe they got that idea from the new coach. He
Mm.
just came. He just came from a domed area, so
God, that would be really something if a coach walked into a new team and said, "Build me a dome," but
yeah. Hey, you guys got plans to build a new stadium, right?
whew,
Dome. Fixed our
that
problems right
demand
there.
letter is high.
Fixed our
Damn.
problems.
Oh,
Mm.
Um. So the vote on the tush push ban has
Ugh.
been tabled by the owners. It was brought forward by Green Bay. It earned support of 16 teams and needs 24 to pass. So we're
please, please say it again, but say that it was pushed forward.
pushed for. It wasn't pushed forward though. The ban will be pushed forward once it's approved because
Okay.
there's sources saying that it's likely to be approved in May when the next league meeting comes up, owners meeting. So maybe Jalen Hurts will go down from 15 touchdowns to two, and in the rushing category. Who
I'm
knows?
ashamed of Green Bay for being such a bitch
You know what? I don't care. I'm
because
saying, you know what?
like I already said, it's not because of safety and it's not because of anything other than jealousy for not being able to pull it off and being a sore loser. So
I think
cool.
Buffalo's the one that runs it second most in the league, and that's just
Yeah.
because they have a 6'5" quarterback.
Well, they weren't the one who went out and said that it shouldn't be there. It
Yeah, I
was,
know. I'm just saying, like that they run it, and I guess and they even said that they don't like it, but they still run it.
yeah, yeah, cool story. They just want to see the Eagles go down, I guess. They're like, we will all take the hit for the Eagles to stop doing this. Because that's all it is they're just mad because
I'll
they can't
just
do it the same.
I'll come right out and say it. I think it's dumb, and I want it banned because I'm sick of seeing it. Geno Smith signing a 2-year, $75 million extension with incentives. It could go up to 85 and a half, and 66.5 million is guaranteed to be in Vegas. And anything to say about that, Julie? No. Okay.
I don't see any pettiness there, but I'll keep an eye out if there is. And Jay, I'll need the bobblehead.
No,
Julie's gonna be all over it as soon as something goes wrong with Gino.
I was going to say
She's-
what I thought was I was surprised he wasn't signed as of yet. I did see someone comment that he was about the 15th ranked um, quarterback last year, and that the salary was about the 15th ranked in the league.
Mhm.
So it's pretty much in line with his. And plus, we don't know every place
Mhm.
he's been like kind of a backup. There hasn't been a place the last 3, 4 years he's had the offense built around him. He'll be
Yeah,
going into
never.
training camp as number one, and that
Mhm.
might make a lot of difference, you know?
Yeah, he
So,
pretty much had the same roster Russ had before
Yeah,
Russ
they
left.
didn't
So,
do anything.
um,
He hasn't written him back yet, so until he does, we just have to wait and see what he does. And
yeah,
I'm very impressed by his career arc. I think everybody really should be. Just objectively, it's quite impressive what he's doing, and so I'm here for it. I know he's like the perpetual redheaded stepchild for some reason in the league, but there, maybe this time around Pete Carroll obviously really wants him, so this could really wanted him, so this could be like his time to shine before he retires, which is very nice.
yeah. The only problem I see with it is it's Vegas and they only have Bowers, really.
Yeah.
but they
It,
have Bowers. I mean,
Yeah, it's the
he's
only thing they
really
have.
he's really good.
Really good, yeah.
Really good. Okay.
Really good. Okay.
I mean, who was his quarterback last year for the Raiders? I don't
A
even know.
mixture of
Aiden
O'Connell,
O'Connell.
Uncle Rico, and the hot dog vendor.
Okay. And the dude broke all the long-standing tight end records, right?
He also broke Puka's records. So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying with the hot dog vendor and O'Connell throwing to him. Now he's got
Hmm.
like a legitimate middle tier quarterback throwing to him. Who knows where he could go? I mean, they
yeah.
might be really dangerous this year.
Okay. What about the offensive line?
I mean, it's the easiest thing to acquire in the NFL. They need one good left
Is it
tackle.
is it the easiest thing to acquire?
Yes, when you have a middle tier quarterback, if you give all your money to your quarterback,
Oh,
no,
oh,
no, it's
okay,
not easy
okay.
to do.
I got you.
You know, if you got no room and you just throw everybody in and say, we'll get a right tackle and put him on left tackle. Doesn't work. You need
Yeah,
a left tackle. You need somebody.
blindside blocker. Yeah.
Yeah, with
Exactly.
the draft coming in, there is some possibility that they can fix some of the holes. And um, I mean, considering how Gino has had to thrive with no O line and everything for a while now, I think any kind of tools that he has, he's really good at utilizing.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't know the order of the
isn't it
draft.
really wide receiver strong this year too, the draft?
Usually is.
So they can pop one in there too. Give him
Yeah,
another tool.
Don't they have two first round picks?
I don't know.
that sounds right. But I think the first pick is what, around 6 or 5?
It's definitely top 10.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, I haven't heard any offensive lineman mentioned in the top 3, 4, 5. They might get the best offensive lineman off the board if they want to.
Okay, I was just referencing the fact
Yeah,
that
they
it's
have
easy.
number 6, round 1, number 6, round 2, number 37, round 3, number 68. So they only have one rounder.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
But number 37 isn't terrible. But yeah, I think like maybe they can fill in some of those gaps.
Yeah,
And
so I
he's
was
good at turning wine into water with very little water, so I have a lot of wine.
your reference to easily fixing an O line, Jay. I was just saying it's not really that easy because Cincinnati's been trying to do it for 5 years. So
Yeah, and I mean Gino's never had an O line, so anything at all, even an attempt at one, will be an improvement for him.
yeah, and as much as the left tackle's needed, it's becoming apparent that guards are going to have to be pass blockers too, rather than run blockers.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
You're right. I mean, about 10 years ago, it seems like the um, the nose tackles were heavier than they are today. They're a lot
mhm,
faster, more agile than they
mhm.
were 10 years ago. So they can get around a slow guard.
A guard that's top tier, like Quentin Nelson comes like almost never. So like you're really hit and missing
Yeah.
on the guard section, but the left tackles are usually pretty damn decent when you get them out of the draft.
Yeah.
And
But
anything will be better. So I
yeah,
think we'll see Gino. We'll see. I don't think it'll be any different, like any worse than what we've seen before, and hopefully
Okay.
better.
Okay.
yeah.
Any other big signings, Ryan?
Trey McBride, 4 years to stay in Arizona, 67 million, or sorry,
Okay.
76 million,
Okay.
43 million guaranteed.
Arizona's cooking.
He's averaging 19 million, yeah, average annual value of 19 million, which is highest ever for a tight end.
Nice.
Yep. So that's the NFL. And we have one last thing to cover.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you know what it is?
It's the great one and the grade eight.
That's right. That's right.
Oh man, the grade eight.
The grade eight moves into numero uno. Scored gold 895 yesterday against the New York Islanders on the road. So it wasn't, as loud when he scores, right? Wrong. Everybody cheered in that place. It erupted. Only thing missing was the goal
Fair.
horn.
And then I'm sure they'll do another rendition for his next home game too.
Yeah. He scored and he did the biggest penguin slide I've ever seen. He even ate some ice like when he hit his face like oh yeah, it was a big celebration. Gretz was there and his family, teammates, pretty much anybody he's played with was there. Gretzky's wife got Ovi's wife a present. Gretz did a speech for him. It was pretty cool.
It was the sweetest thing because you said that when Gretzky beat the
Gordie Howe's record.
that Howe's wife also did that. So it's like a really cool tradition. I love that. And I love the support and well, hopefully it's genuine, but like the emotional, like, being able to put away your own ego and kind of celebrating that person is really, really sweet.
Gretzky told him, when he breaks the record, he'll be the first one to shake his hand. And he was. Aww. Like, he was up in the press box and he immediately came down to the ice. Yeah, it was pretty cool. They even made a painting. I thought it was a picture. Like, it was done so well. Of Ovi hoisting the cup, and it had him and Gretz skating, like, side by side. It was pretty cool. Yeah. So
will Tom Brady do the same once
the record actually, it's funny because when Gretz broke the record, it stood for 31 years. When Ovi broke the record, it stood for 31 years. So every 31 years, I guess somebody breaks the record.
Wow.
God, we'll have to wait a long minute to see it happen again. Let me get my spectacles out because
they already have projections of when certain players will break the record, and it's freaking hilarious because like the latest one will be like 2052.
Gotta eat your carrots so you can actually physically see it when it happens.
Yeah, I was fixed to say how old does Dustin Johnson have a son?
So
that would make sense, wouldn't it?
He scored 895 on his 325th power play goal, which is most all time.
Yeah.
And he also scored it on a goalie who never allowed a goal to him, ever.
Nice.
One of 10 goalies Ovi's never scored on, and he scored on yesterday in the second period. I mean, they fell 4-1 in the game, but either way.
It doesn't really matter at that
Doesn't
point.
matter. No, after the game, Sorokin gave Ovi his stick, and then he told him after the season to give him his glove, and he had him sign a couple pucks for him. So
that's pretty nice.
Cool.
That's so wholesome. I love a little wholesomeness around here.
As Ovi was enjoying himself an adult beverage,
as you
brewski, having a little celebration brewski.
I mean, did you even win it if you didn't?
Okay. Does anyone? You've got a little bit more about by the NHL.
Yeah. So New York Islanders forward Anthony Duclair is taking a leave of absence from the team. Separation came 2 days after Patrick Watt told reporters he was god awful in their 4-1 loss to Tampa.
And you can never talk about Patrick in any type of way around me because he is like up here to me. Like him and Gretzky are like boof in my head.
Oh yeah, they shook hands yesterday too.
I remember when he had that huge padding on in the 90s and was for the Colorado Avalanches. Okay. And he was a baddie, and we had his card, and I wrote on it, and my brother never forgave me for that. And I don't blame him, but I was also like pretty young. But anyway,
free out the window.
Understandable. But yeah, Patrick Watt is my hero. So whatever he says, he's basically infallible.
So
anyway,
Duclair's taking time off because Watt told the reporters he was god awful, and therefore the one lost Tampa Bay.
I kind of love that. Do you love that, Jay? Because I kind of love that. Oh my God, get the bobblehead back out because that's kind of a bobblehead moment.
That's petty move of the week.
Jay, you have to say something where it doesn't show.
Oh, petty move of the week.
Yeah, absolutely. Patrick Waugh saying that his player is god awful, and then the player saying, "I want to take a break."
Duclair's taking time off to reflect, he says. reflect upon being told you're god awful.
Okay, if anybody's going to the retreat with Aaron Rodgers, it's that guy.
It's true though. He is god awful.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, Patrick Waugh would never lie, so we knew that.
Oh, never. No, never. So the Panthers are optimistic they're going to get Matthew Tkachuk back for round 1 of the playoffs. They clinched a playoff spot, regardless of their streak they got going on, where they're just playing god awful. He's been out with a groin injury since the Four Nations face-off, so he's been out the last 16 games. So they're hoping to get the rat back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I guess we go around the room for final thoughts.
Closes the notebook on episode 70. Lots of shit to talk about. I said that closes the notebook on episode 70.
Okay, there
Lots
you go.
Lots of shit we talked about this week.
I really don't have much except to tell everyone to read the coverage for the UFL. Myself, Julie, Jamie, the human calculator.
Right.
The human thesaurus or whatever. I mean, the human football encyclopedia.
You do not want to miss his takes on things because he'll remember every record since the beginning of time.
He's not pulling. He's not pulling it. I swear to goodness, he's probably just like writing straight at the tip of the pen. I'm writing for a minute or two and then having to look things up. That dude is writing stream of consciousness. It's just amazing. I always like reading his stuff, you know?
When you talk to Jamie, it's like going to the Hall of Fame, man. He has
It really is, man.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
You hit the button, man. The information's coming
Seriously.
out. So, yeah, I always enjoy working with Jamie, but it is intimidating, and it kind of makes me up my game. You know what I mean?
I'm used to being mediocre. I've accepted this, and so I don't feel that same way, but I do love his work. It's amazing.
Jamie's good. He's great at what he does.
My mentor says that I'm not supposed to refer to myself as mediocre or average, even in joking, so I will not. All I will say is, yeah, of course, everyone has a personal mentor. I would assume so. But anyway,
it's an older person thing, I think. But yeah.
Okay.
I don't think you can find anybody older. So.
I doubt the mentor is even still.
He's not older, but he's balding, so he looks
older. Oh, got you. Okay.
Stop talking about Tom Petty like that.
Don't do him like that.
That's your petty move of the week, and that's like, how do you do that? Okay. Anyway, said I'm not supposed to speak about myself except the fact that I surround myself with extraordinary people and hope to rise to their level.
You're welcome.
That's
what I do. That's what I do. Not even joking. Not even joking. Yeah.
Okay, but we don't need your personal crisis right now, but we do appreciate your Yeah, I didn't call you mediocre, just me, and I accept that. And certainly never at a Jamie standard. But make sure to read our stuff, watch your stuff, and don't tell us that we're god awful. That's what we do,
No,
please.
you are
in the
not
comments
Patrick
below.
Raw.
We'll have to take time to reflect.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. If you want us to show up next week, no, I won't even say that. But yeah, we'll have to go with
No.
Aaron Rodgers. If you say that. So yeah. I think that wraps up 70. Just keep an eye on our Twitters because I'll be posting different articles. It's Arab American Heritage Month, so I'll be posting some information about Arab American contributions in the NFL and also my UFO coverage. So keep an eye out for our stuff.